Okay, so this has been long awaited, and we definitely put this video off, and we didn't want to upload a video until we shared with you guys what really happened. And obviously, you know by now Leia was missing, and now she's back. But we wanted to share the details of what happened really. Becca was actually involved.
Before we share the details, we just wanted to first say thank you. Thank you for your support. And the second that Davis found out Leia was missing, he tweeted it, and immediately Justin from April Justin TV and Dee from Ravine Life and Matt from Matt Nem. I mean, and everyone was so like, what can we do? How can we help? I mean that's real, you know, like our baby was missing. That's as real as it gets. And I feel like I was really grateful for everybody for being super supportive and just so willing to help. And so for those of you who didn't or don't follow me on social media or Davis on social media, I had the biggest scare of my life. We had the biggest scare of our lives on Tuesday, and it was my worst nightmare of my life becoming true in my, like just unfolding before me. We all have fears and things that we are really, really scared about. And this is actually my greatest fear, but I've never said it because I don't ever want it to come true. So I just won't ever vocalize it. But I think every parent's worst nightmare is losing their child. But my biggest fear of my life is really just having my children taken. And like I shared a little bit on my social media, I experienced that when I was 15 years old, and I am not ready to share the details of that day or those days of the time that I was taken, but I will later. I'm not ready, like I said now, but when I am ready, I will share with you the details of that time, which was really hard for me. And I think thinking about the things that I had to go through, I never want my children to experience that. And because of that, I have this like fear that I don't ever want them to have to go through anything like that. So let's just kind of go back to the day that I went to just pick up Leia. She's been dying to ride the bus all kindergarten. She's my first child to ever go to school. I'm very protective of her. I'm not gonna let her ride the bus, absolutely not. But she's been dying to ride the bus. And I mean, we live in a really safe gated community, and literally ours is the first bus stop. I mean, it's right here. And I just was like, fine, Leia, you can ride the bus. And so she's been riding the bus for a little while, and she absolutely loves it. And she's a social butterfly. She loves the little experience. And so on Tuesday it was raining, pouring rain, and I just walked a couple steps here to pick her up from the bus, and I watched everybody get off. She's actually usually the very first one to get off. I watched everybody get off, and I said, weird. And I had this weird feeling in the pit of my stomach, and I was like, where's Leia? And all of a sudden I'm like, and I went to the bus driver. I made eye contact with him, and I talked to him. I said, hey. And he opens the door. I said, where's Leia? Where's my Leia? And he goes, I don't know. She never got on the bus today. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, it was raining. She must have missed the bus. I said, no, she didn't miss the bus. And then I asked Andrea. I said, Andrea, the little girl, she's like in second, third grade or something. I said, where's Leia? He goes, she wasn't on the bus. I didn't see her. And I said, it's like this immediate like panic came over me, but I had Izzy and Lily with me, so I didn't want them to start freaking out. So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm running home. My mom was here at the house with Cash, and I left Lily and Izzy, and I said, stay here. I immediately called the school, and I said, my daughter, my kindergartner, Leia, didn't get on the bus. She's at school. Where is she? And they looked everywhere. They said, there's no child here, ma'am. And I said, well, you better look again, because she's there. And I said, I'm coming, but she's there. I hung up with them, and I'm driving to the school, and I didn't even think twice and called 911. And I said, listen, you know, my child is missing. And they just kind of, boom, went into action. Okay, tell me about her. Where was she last? I said, she didn't get on the bus. She wasn't on the stop. She's not at the school. And they just, you know, by the time I made it to the school, I was greeted by 5 police cars, and the police, who were just quick to action, like boom, like, okay, one on my phone, they took the last picture of her and blasted it to every, you know, they had like to the city. They had everybody on lockdown. Every school was on lockdown. Everything was like on a hold.
The helicopters out. They had
hound dogs. Like, I mean, I feel like, oh my gosh, how did they do that in like literally 5 minutes? Like, how did that even happen?
Yeah, and this whole time I'm actually at work, clueless of what's going on. All right. Yeah. And then she calls me.
I called you like 5 times.
Tons of times, until when I finally answered, she's like, hey, do not panic, you know, don't freak out. And I was like, what is she talking about? Like, what? Usually, if anything's wrong, this one's the one that's freaking out. And she tells me, she's like, Leia's gone missing. Like, we have no idea where she is. Like, stay calm. And I was like, what do you mean she's missing? And then she's like, hold on, let me talk to your boss.
I wanted her to calm him down, because he works like 40 minutes away, so I didn't want him to speed in the rain. And I said, I don't want anything to happen to him, you know, like I need him to be okay. And so anyways, during the time that everything was happening, although I was really freaking out, I prayed, and I really felt the Lord just give me this peaceful feeling, and that everything was okay. And I remember praying again and saying, I appreciate the peaceful feeling, Lord, but I need an answer. I need you to tell me that she's okay and that she's coming back. And I felt without a doubt that she was okay and that she was coming back. I didn't know when, and I didn't know how long she was going to be gone for, and I didn't know in what condition she was currently in, if she was struggling or suffering, but I did know that she was okay, that she was going to come back and she was going to be okay. But during that time, it had been an hour and a half already, and we had no idea where she was. Everyone was looking for her. So what had happened was when I had asked the bus driver, where's Leia? She actually was on the bus. She was on the bus in the back sleeping, because, you know, she was exhausted from the Memorial Day celebration. We had been at the pool for 10 hours the day before, and so Tuesday morning when she went to school, she was exhausted. And so the last stop on the bus, a little girl woke her up, who was her friend, and said, Leia, you know, you have to get off the bus. And she's like, oh. So she woke up and she got off the bus, and she just kind of realized that she didn't know where she was, and she just stood there at the corner of the stop. And this little girl,
her grandfather was there waiting for her. And then so the little girl tells the grandfather, hey, this is not her stop. And then so the grandfather, they decide to wait to see if, I guess, the parent's gonna pick her up or whatever. Then other parents show up, and then they end up calling our gate. The gate called the police, and the police is already aware. So I guess at that time, to cut the story short, you know, they head over. Becca's still at this school with tons of police there waiting and stuff going on, helicopters, all that. And I'm rushing home. Like I said, this whole time I'm like clueless of what's going on. I'm just rushing home. And then like maybe like a few miles down the road, Becca calls me. She's like, they found Leia. She's okay. She's fine. She tells me what happens. It's like awesome. So I like this whole time I had like this pit in my stomach. Like it was just thinking most crazy things, but still trying to keep calm, like hoping for the best, you know. And when I get to school, you know, I see a bunch of cop cars. And I think I took a picture of one. If I still have it, I'm gonna post it. But now when I walk into school, I just see like these bunch of cops like standing in the front, and one of them turns to me. He's like, "Oh, that must be the dad." And then, or you must be the dad. That's what he said. And as soon as I hit the corner, Leia's there with a big old grin on her face, totally smiling next to Becca. And it was just such a big relief, like knowing that, you know, there were so much resources that reached out to help. And you know, I'm glad it turned out the way it did. Unfortunately, there's tons of other stories that don't turn out that way, which is unfortunate. But it's a learning experience, you know, for everyone. It's definitely not a feeling we want to see any parent go through. And some parents actually messaged us on all social media and said, hey, we've been there. And it's like, we know how you feel. And like you said, and for her, I felt bad. Like she couldn't. The rest of the day, she was like, she was totally stressed, totally not feeling right, totally kind of down, because of she's had situations in the past where she was missing, and not just for a couple hours, for a couple of days. But that story's for another time when we decide to get a little bit more private on her life. And it's but yeah, we're so glad that Leia's back with us, and and it's bringing emotions back to Becca, because it's something that's surreal. Like, it's missing your kid is definitely not a feeling that.
And I think that's one reason why we kind of contemplating going back and forth in this whole social media thing. It's like, do you really want your life to be public? Because I feel like that's a fear that all of us have, all of us YouTube parents, all of us who have a public social media life, or it's like you're putting your children on on the internet as well, and that's making them vulnerable. And it's like, that puts me at fault, and I feel like if something were to happen to her, that would be my fault, because I did that to her. And so I feel like, as much as we love YouTube and as much as we want this to happen, I feel like you guys, everybody has to kind of understand how difficult this is for me. Or Davis doesn't share his he doesn't, he's like, no, it's not how it is. But I feel that this is my responsibility to keep my kids safe. Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know what she means. Like, it's, as a parent, you do whatever it is to keep your kids safe, and we do that. We keep them in safe community so far. But because of her experiences, like, that worry, that panic is always going to be there, based on her past experience. And obviously, social media, putting our kids out there, our family out there, kind of puts us at a little bit of a risk. But it's that's what life is now. And I'm sure we're gonna get some bad comments, or some people are gonna say, you're asking for it by doing this. But it's like, you can't live your whole life sheltered, pretty much. Social media is just gonna continue growing, and that's our kids' generation. That's the life they're gonna be exposed to. It's all basically social media. But anyways, back to our kids. Like, we're just glad everything turned out the way it did. Nothing bad or anything happened like that. And just thank you guys for all the amazing support. Everyone that was there, even days after, everyone's still asking, like, how Leia, how's everything going? But we're just so blessed for everything.
And I don't want to make any more of these sad videos, okay?
Yeah, but so like we said,
on another note, we're back to daily vlogging.
We're back to doing the vlogs.
We're gonna start again today. I mean, yesterday we started again, so tomorrow.
I'm gonna be posting vlogs, because we kept vlogging, we just didn't post them. So I'm gonna start posting bits and pieces of those until we catch up to daily. So be patient with us. Thank you guys. You guys are always amazing, always being positive of everything, which I love. I rarely ever see someone being negative. And even if someone's being negative, you guys like point that out. It's like,
there's like we have no negative comments on our.
There's been a couple that I've seen, but
somebody called me fat, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Come on, I don't even care.
And somebody was rude once, but then I guess you guys were like, hey, listen, don't do that. The Bolanos don't play. You're gonna get get blocked or whatever. And it's just because we're trying to be.
We're not about that negativity. And we're not about that drama. We're not about that.
Even though we're full of drama.
Our life is full of drama enough. We don't need nobody else's drama.
But we're not trying to create drama. It's life. That's what we're living. That's what we're here. You guys come through the ups and downs with us, and I'm sure many of you go through it also. And so we're all family. You guys watch our kids grow, and you guys are there for all of it. And we just want to say thank you. So we're gonna end the vlog, this update here, and hopefully you guys come back and continue to watch us grow and always be there to support us. And yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.